Now they drink empty water. Eh? Nah, I thought I told you. Sannoh, what do I need to do?
Thank you for giving birth to me. Since my first days on earth, nurtured and nurtured me. Left your long time ago and went on to Babylon. Now you have returned, so you did not where I was born. Unless one know where they come from. One can never get to where they want you to go. No doubt of me, sweet mama Sannoh. Oh, please, please come and show me the way. I am a born Sierra Leone, no matter where I go, no matter what I do, I am a born Sierra Leone. Say I'm in love with the green, white, and blue. I am a born Sierra Leone. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, I am a born Sierra Leone. Say I'm in love with the green, white, and blue. So high your mountain, the sound is well due. How pleasant it is to rise a green, white, and blue. We will have it to see how dreams come. Just prevail, no more sex family united, yes, I really love you. Always like by your side, just like crazy. If you don't sail away, we wouldn't know if you do. After so much pain, my people gone through. So don't try to never find barrette you. And what's from my mouth, I righteous and true. Tell my bones, Sarah Leona. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, I am a bones, Sarah Leona. Said I'm in love with the green, white, and blue. I am a born Sierra Leone. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, I am a born Sierra Leone. Say I'm in love with the green, white, and blue. Sing Mama Sannoh, a new day is dawning. Open your ears and listen. I love to be said as only blessing. So don't be fooled by the meaningless words. Judge them in the previous words. Open your eyes and see. Spoken people to blow your sight. Look deeper, your true love, what you will see. Remember that the more things change. They will always remain the same. I am a born Sierra Leone. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, I am a born Sierra Leone. Said I'm in love with the green, white, and blue. I am a born Sierra Leone. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, I am a born Sierra Leone. Said I'm in love with the green, white, and blue. I am a born Sierra Leone. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, I am a born Sierra Leone. Said I'm in love with the green, white, and blue. I am a born Sierra Leone. No matter where I go, I am a born Sierra Leone. Said I'm in love with the green, white, and blue. I am a born Sierra Leone. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, I am a born Sierra Leone. Said I'm in love with the green, white, and blue. I am a born Sierra Leone. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, I am a born Sierra Leone. Said I'm in love with the green, white, and blue. I am a born Sierra Leone. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, I am a born Sierra Leone. Said I'm in love with the green, white, and blue. I am a born Sierra Leone. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, I am a born Sierra Leone. Said I'm in love with the green, white, and blue. J.R. Born Sierra Leone.
Hi, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good day, whoever we're there from. Again, my name is Alusine MacFoy. I come from London, and obviously, these are Diaspora Voices, bringing you again another interesting program today. The topic we're going to deal with now about marginalization of women in politics in Sierra Leone. A very good topic, but before we start and go any further, allow my panelists and the new guests will get today. First of all, I want to bring on the new guest. Let introduce himself. Miss Miatta, alias Miatta Bonita, but commonly known as Sweet Bonita. But for this program, we go allow Miss Miatta to introduce himself to we, and they just tell you a bit about himself. Obviously, they can say the program today will get now about marginalization of women in politics in Sierra Leone. Miss Miatta, if you can unmute your mic, please, and then introduce yourself. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning. It all depends where you may find yourself. My name is Miatta Baihinga, for some of you that knows me, but my stage name is Sweet Bonita. And well, I'm a Sierra Leonean by birth, and I'm proud of that. And I've seen especially the topic that we're going to talk about is about the marginalization of women in politics, which I have found more, more interest in. Because I want to go into politics, and I've seen there is no room for female or women. And of late, we've seen literally what's happening to the women within the political arenas, what's happening to them in Sierra Leone. So I would like to take this on board and work with it. I know it's short, but you guys will hear from me short. Thank you, Mr. Fana.
We can't hear you, Miatta. I don't know if you have to put up your microphone.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Put on the volume on the microphone.
Yeah, we can hear Miatta clearly, please. Don't change anything. We can hear Miatta clearly, please.
Well, I can't hear Miatta on this side. Okay, go on, Miss Miatta.
I've met with organisations that have told me about the issues.
Miatta, go on.
And I can give you examples. So I met with every doctor on Friday.
Yamba, no fun, yo.
Yamba, okay, let me get Miatta.
You mind, yes?
Can we have Yamba introduce yourself, please?
Ladies, now over to me. Hello. This now Deen, Kamara, Akapayamba. I'm a regular contributor on this program. I'm not new. A lot of people that know me, and I always participate now, and I do so actively. Today we talk about women, gender inequality. We I feel say it very much important for what we discuss. We all know say yes, it really not true. Although we try for many problems, so viewers, all welcome for joining this program. I would have loved to address you guys in English, but majority of the people who watch me, I feel say you guys will be more comfortable with the local parlance, we are the Creole, and that I'll be very much proud to present my case in the local parlance, the Creole. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is Abdul, Kamara, Yamba.
Little Christian and H, cut that off, please. No, they're still on. Christian Macaulay and H are still on. Cut them off, please.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, well, I can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you. Carry on.
I just don't introduce myself. I don't know if I hear me. I see Ahmed Sesay. I don't know if it's genuine or he's walking.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
Mr. Sesay.
Oh, Mr. Sannoh, for me too.
I am.
Okay. It seems you're like having a walk or you're sitting behind. I don't know where you are. Anyway, a pleasure to have you again, Mr. Sesay.
Thank you very much. Pleasure is all mine, sir.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to introduce myself. Me na Abdul Payamba, and I always stay here anyway. I always participate in this program. God bless everybody. And tonight we get Mr. MacFoy and Mr. Sesay as coordinators.
Mr. Thonkla.
Yes, hello everyone. On a morning, on a good afternoon, a good evening across the world. Mina Chief Alhaji Thonkla Bangura. Well, I am so delighted for giving the prerogative, the privilege for hosting this program on gender inequality, or call it the marginalization of women in Sierra Leone politics, the policy, economic, and social spectrum. I'm happy for there, and I'm happy for offering expertise as a women's giant. I even decided today for wearing my Chinese clothes. But tell us today I'm gonna be the Jackie Chan, the Jackie Chan of women's empowerment. So as always, I promise now we'll get a delicious quality submission from all of we. And I feel we are supporters of women's empowerment, definitely. So therefore, I welcome now all across the world. The program at Diaspora and Voices, all at politics. I will also, as always do, thank the management for on this program, and I would wholeheartedly I welcome the viewers across the world. And please, I appeal to women across the world, let them come in and contribute. When I send text messages, when I send messages, so that we see what the burden on heart them, or for try we as politicians for try address them. That's very important because we know how for set this program on we alone. We want for inviting all of come, as I said last week. This is a Kamara program. Everybody is important, but we'll go look at the mainstreaming and intersectionality of policies across Sierra Leone and across the world. We'll draw comparison as we progress. So if I do so far, we'll keep the program running. I will stop here and welcome and say thank you very much. This is Alhaji Thonkla Bangura. Thank you, MacFoy.
Thank you, Mr. Thonkla. The next person, Mr. Sesay.
Yes, thank you, Fias. Una dey hear me?
Yes, we hear you. We get you very well.
Thank you, everyone. Yes, I take the cue from Mr. Thonkla. Women issues now, all man issue na alone.
Absolutely.
Me get to approach when it comes to women issue, but when the program starts, I go get for elaborate on that. I they look at the stereotype, I they look at the apathy as well from women, the lack of women, the ability for men to come up front to mainstream governance, mainstream areas we dominated with men, including construction and a whole lot of areas. But we go come to that later. But I mean, for viewers, me and Ahmed Sesay, I'm also one of the panelists in this program. So, but unfortunately today, as soon as I see I'm on the road, but as the program they start, I go they listen, but I they come inside next 20 minutes, so I go don't reach my destination. I just pull over, but I they listen as they go along. But I go be the last contributor and I go signal me arrival, but I they listen and I they go off the video, but I'm listening and I'll contribute in the next. So I'll be the last contributor. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sesay. And thank you, viewers. Again, an interesting topic we choose. The platform and the language we choose for talk are Creole, and obviously probably going to English, because while we the audience and while we commit to the salon, and we think the diaspora able to understand and grasp and full participation. Hence, we why we do Creole. If I can just say, it's a background. I know say I get questions to the guests there, but let me say this: wait till me no boss alone. Okay, wait till me no boss alone. But in terms of as a country in Africa, as a people, I think say in terms of female representation in governance, we have been one of the most liberal countries in Africa, one of the most liberal countries even in the world in terms of that respect. And I can tell you why. From as far as back we know our history, from the 1800s, we don't know, but women them we were rulers, were strong, were folk, and in our history, we don't play pivotal role in shaping our societies, in shaping our communities, in advancing our educational system, in advancing our society and our cultures. We don't know about that name. So as this discussion they move forward, I get a strong view for belief say women are marginalized, but the context in which the marginalization will take place, sometimes maybe the blame when the geese and a man and they stop that, sometimes not justified. And I want to let this program be thought-provoking. I want to let it be a no-holds-barred program. I don't want to let anything be a sacred cow level for even discuss them, the issues that will affect the perception or the way this is carrying on. I don't want to do anything like that will affect them. I want to talk about this issue. I want to talk about them in the manner, in a way, with representation, in the manner, in a way we could actually deal with the situation. We create a conversation, because for us and for me, the most important thing for Lord do and for open that conversation and discuss it. Or we explore every single area, you know, whether controversial, non-controversial, I think so we need for discussion, we need for talk about time. Whether we're comfortable, we're not comfortable with it, whether we're going to say some few uncomfortable truths, you know, I think we will be prepared for saying this, because it will only do a good service to this program. Again, I put that into the panels. I mean, obviously today, I'd be slightly biased in the sense, not because she's a female, but because she's new on this platform. So at the game, the force go. And so because now woman know, me say because woman the alarm forgot to know, because she's a guest, like we always do when the guests come on this program, we always give our guests the first bite at the cherry. So my question to you, Madam Miatta, what are your opinion? And what are you thinking? And what are you view? And based on what that you believe, or you feel say women, do you actually believe women are marginalized in Sierra Leone, in our society?
Well, definitely I would decide for go salon, because now they will come in, now they will try to talk about, but yes, it's just across the board, the whole of Africa. Because my campaign on this issue of women being marginalized in politics, now something we are ready for take up to the United Nations. Because we know, say, that was in 2017, then we get a meeting in Johannesburg where they talk about the gender of women, them, the positions that women for take in politics, and then they try to achieve this by 2030. But for me, don't say 2030 is too long. Some of us, we're not going to be that much vibrant or strong within the political arenas. And one thing where I don't see in Africa is like people in political positions have to be over 50. And I feel say that's wrong. For women, them being 50 is like you start thinking of something else. When at the 10 and they would say the man in the camp for can't say they want to be a president. You know, for me, I see say that they are completely wrong. And they need to give the young one then the position, the platform for men them go take charge. I know say sometimes women can talk to it for be just for man. No. For me, we say they say man and they go now they can like to go. Because I don't see waiting where man go able to do it as me young woman not go able to do them at all. And as he said, this thing, like for the past, last say 1 year now, things where they happen at Salon, as he say, it just they continue to go the trend. And as he said, we also need to try for review with electoral commission then policies and stuff on women. Because as he said, few people then can stand, but it's like they don't even give them that platform or try to listen to them at all. And one thing where somebody will tell me to discuss with some other people that like we can get jealous of ourselves. For me, I say at the start of campaign, it not need for being me. It can be anybody, but we all need for come on board and try for fight this. We don't see say 59 years man that don't rule in a salon, and we all can refer to as Mama Salon. For me, I feel say let we try get a mother for the whole nation for once and see who's how we lead to. So for me, this marginalization, my brother, is not just for Salon, the whole of Africa. And as he say, waiting that be done sign on 2017, the meeting where them be held between the 9, I think, till the 17th. It's like then they try for project for 2030. For me, I feel say 2030 is too far. It's too long. We'll not get time for it for 2030.
Okay, but you can understand why they say 2030. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
If they're planning to do something, they can't just make it happen today because there are structural barriers, there are cultural barriers. So again, 2030 is the end goal. It's not the last. It's not the beginning. It's the end goal. By that time, it should have been achieved. You know. Yeah. So what we're looking at now. So you've got 13 years to bring to speed and to bridge the gap. So 2030 seems a bit far. But what 2030 is saying is 2030 by that time they will reach out. Those goals are set. You know, it could be 2020, they could say, it could be 2021, it could be 2022, it could be now. But the 2030 is a realistic time frame, you know, when it's set. You know, so Payamba, sorry, Mr. Thonkla, you know everything Miatta say. Talk across Africa. You know, if we talk across Africa, it becomes a wide subject. So I will not narrow to Salon in specific, Lord Brand Country with country in specific. I mean, we can draw inferences from other countries and from which type within the continent and which type internationally as well. But let's keep it purely with the Sierra Leone context. In the Sierra Leone context, do you actually believe women are marginalized? And if so, what are the evidence we get for saying women are marginalized?
Well, as a politician, we not say yes or no. It depends the way that's a question. Well, the question is illegitimate. You can say yes, you can say no. But if I say yes, then I go start to look at the political spectrum. One thing I have to say, as a country, Sierra Leone as a case study, let us stop to weaponize women as sexual tools. I'm looking at last time from giving symbols to people, to candidates. I don't feel say if you take woman a bed for a symbol. I don't feel say if you use a woman as a tool for promote your political agenda. I feel say we never bring in policies where they thwart, I call them the intersectionality. Policy them way they discriminate against women. We never bring in policies where I feel say they create an amicable platform where they give women their fair share in society. That's very important. We need a roadmap, as we clearly stated from now to 2030 or 35. That's a clear roadmap. But that roadmap be incorporated into our domestic policy, into our constitution. And also, even though the past administration we make some headways in achieving gender balance, because I have to acknowledge that former President Nkrumah actually give all women position our government than any other government in Sierra Leone. That was a starting point. This current government probably doesn't say about towards that for develop that trendy, because very important. Yes, women in some point they are evangelized, because even if woman grab the public out of people see in a woman, we have to change our mindset. We have to, if we want to move a step further or try for fast track, we credentials for balance gender inequality. I feel say we have to try embark on a collective, comprehensive campaign for encouraging them, tell them say they are equally capable for run offices. They are equally capable for lead a country. They are equally capable for do what girls can do. But as I said last week, I am put off by the behavior of the 50-50. This group here now a group where that we create for promote women, the women gender, for try to create a platform for bridge the gender inequality. But where are they when women are being abused collectively in Sierra Leone? They only hide it. Then we are talking about women's empowerment. Well, they are the women leaders. They are shying away for fight for women there because they don't like them or something else. If you create a group, say this group is set up for fight for women there, you have to do that. You cannot cherry pick the time and when you should fight for women. Right? I don't say women they get rivalry. Say, oh no, Mr. Bangura. No, you can't climb up the ladder. Then when you go up there, then you kick the ladder. When they go up the ladder, pull the company up. Understand? So because all the policies they are then by just church up by economic policy. We see if you look at the quantification of market people there, we get more women and market place than men. Where are the policies where they create an environment for give women loans to do business? Because looking at some of them, these are breadwinners. They are looking at the homes. Now they start picking them. We get any policies, economic policies where the government they act as an intermediary between the woman there and the banks to get the loans. Because giving them money, they are empowering them. I talk and say the best independent, now financial independence. So if we want women to be independent, we want women to be empowered, let's start from the finances. Because when you have financial independence, you are actually independent. So make I know actually hold on to it for that long. Might also allow me the other panelists to contribute. But I guess
Okay.
a lot to offer.
Okay,
I guess a lot
Mr.
to offer
Thonkla,
for this
Mr.
program.
Thonkla, very good submission. You
Thank you.
talk about two things. You talk about
Yes.
sex as a weapon
Yep.
by men, and you
Yep.
talk about discrimination in terms of political party representation of women. You know,
Absolutely.
two important topic. So from that, that can add the best next question to Payamba. Payamba,
Okay.
Mr. Thonkla don't talk something about sex, but men using women for sexual for the advanced
Pleasure.
religion. You know,
Exactly.
for sexual pleasure for the woman they go to need. You know, they don't talk about the constitution. Now let's say something. What about if me a man and they complain say woman then they go before the society, not because they're fit for the outside and fit for the, but because they use their body for law demand them, for letting get it for gain society. What about if I'm mere accusation and what about if me a person say, okay, now the reason they make woman they succeed? You know, one, because we don't see what woman the way they do that and they proud of the boss bottom, talk them. You know, two, we don't see woman there who all they go school with. We know say not something with ABC, but we can book exam results, then they get the best results, we'll go take exam. You know, but if we saw ask somebody for talk the concept, then they show you. What about if me they talk and they say and the reason they will make me they feel say woman need to go, you know, they advance in society. I mean, what I try to get at is even though Mr. Thonkla don't say what he don't say, is that a case where women use their sexuality or move themselves into society? And if so, is that the right thing to do? Or does that not hand them that place say, oh, society talk say, women are not capable for doing what they're supposed to do? That are one. Number two, we talk about the 50-50 representation, the representation for women in political party. You know, what are you thinking on that? What do you think say for happen? You think say if for this say when they give symbol 50% for the man, 50% for the woman in political parties, so then they go create the representation session in parliament, we go give 50-50. You know, if we go back to African Union, the African Union actually get 50-50 representation of parliament. Rwanda actually get more women parliamentarians than male parliamentarians.
Amen. Exactly.
You know, so what do you think, Payamba?
Thank you very much. This is a very, very broad question. About facing two questions in one, you don't ask me now. One, you talk about sexuality, exploitation, which I understand from the first question, and the second one about the 50-50, the role of the 50-50 equality at the political spectrum. I believe say the gender gap the narrow depending on how industrialization and economic power, they play a very pivotal role in gender inequality. And it be more worse. Now a country we are in so economically dwarf, it's so squeezed and dwindled, it's squaff. And a country like a continent like Africa and the Middle East, wherein the women are subdued, submerged continuously. One, because of cultural reasons, religious beliefs. But coming back to Sierra Leone is economically deprived, now a donor dependable country. Therefore, and I believe say the society, being that we believe in what I will refer to here as patriarchal. Patriarchal means male dominance, the male masculinity, the men society. And because of we culture, we norms, believe say we as men, in the other way around, we supreme, we super as humans. This give we the tendency for subconsciously they oppress and suppress the gender when are the female gender. But more ask yourself now, this thing therefore do with education? Yes. If you look at the statistics that Sierra Leone, you go see say more men are going to school than the women. This they play a very pivotal role now. Because of that, when you go now the workplace, you see more men today than women. But recently we see a change, we see a transition, we see a change. Wherein they say a lot of women they come to the political spectrum. You understand? So to me, that side, I don't know whether on education or on the culture, but I feel say education and culture, they play a pivotal role what did happen to the Sierra Leone. Now let me come back to the 50-50. If 50-50 to me is shambolic. the group itself is very much shambolic. They're disappointing. In fact, a slap in the face of every Sierra Leonean, most notably the women. This group come in the limelight, believing that they are feminists, talking on behalf of the fellow women. But this group, I feel, is very much alienative. Now, a segregated group, wherein I believe they linger to one political party. When
okay,
yeah, I'm listening. Go on.
Now hold you there.
Yeah.
Not about 50-50 women's group we talk about. Let's stick with the issue. The question is women's marginalization. The issue is how do you believe that? And if so, because I begin the topic. If so, what do you believe? Not what group supports it, what group doesn't. We'll come to that question. We'll come to that area there. Those who support, those who don't support.
Well,
why they support? Why they support?
Okay, make I just summarize. Okay. In a conceptual context, when you look at the broader picture of marginalization or economic inequality, I feel say yes, women have been marginalized in Sierra Leone.
Okay.
And they marginalized under the political spectrum, the public sphere is very correct. They've been marginalized. Now, somebody talk about, Chief Thonkla talk about, use that sexism come inside. You understand? And then they use that as exploitation. I remember me and you, then I once away talking that we make almost shed tears. A small girl meeting officer, she wasn't prepared. And you reflect straight what you mean. So I think the men are exploiting, then they take advantage of this situation because mostly men are in position of better jobs than Sierra Leone. And then they exploit them beginning. So to me, yes, then they marginalize them, the women in Sierra Leone. To me, and it still happen, although with the type of move slightly forward, but it's still shambolic. It meander. It's not steady at all. If they draw back, even at the West now, it happened. The women are being marginalized, even at the West. Even the pay at the top, it not be the same. You understand? And England now, it happened. So women are fighting. That now make we get the women radical group. You understand what they call the feminist radical groups? And then group are coming for help. So to me, in Sierra Leone, we still left behind. We have a lot to do comparing to a country like Rwanda. Rwanda now 50-50 or even more women in the public sphere and the political spectrum. So Sierra Leone, they don't try, but the gap it widened. It really widened. So to me, the women have been marginalized in Sierra Leone, and still it happened. Women have been exploited and have been marginalized in all its spheres in Sierra Leone. So in a conceptual context, women have been marginalized. So
okay, Mr. Thonkla, thank you. Okay, there's another background. There's noise at the background.
Oh.
I think.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Yamba, Mr. Deen. Miatta.
Yeah.
So you don't everything the panelists don't say obviously, you don't already view, you don't already talk like view. So I think from what they say, everybody's coming from the point that women are marginalized. But then why are they marginalized? You know, why are they marginalized? Why is this marginalization taking place? Is it a deliberate ploy by men to keep women low? Is it because men don't understand the issue of bringing women? Is it because of the culture? Is it because of our upbringing? Is it because of societal pressures? Is it because, like Payamba say, it's a patriarchal system where men control, men dominate, men have the power, men create the rules? You know, I mean,
it's
all those.
Let me. Can I come in?
Mr. Stay, hold on. Are you there? You know, so based on that, I don't know if Mr. Say you heard the question. I don't say listen. The question.
I heard the question. Yes.
Okay, the question I want to Mr. Say is a simple one. Based on what we don't hear from Miss Bonita, based on what we hear from Mr. Thonkla, based on what we hear from Mr. Deen Kamara, and in terms of the agreement that yes, women are marginalized in our society, the question what I want to ask is this marginalization due to a concerted effort by men to keep women down? Is this marginalization because men don't understand? Is it our cultural practices? Why this marginalization take place, and why in 2020, with all the development we don't see and best practice we don't see, even across Africa, of female participation in politics, why we think so the participation of women in politics in Sierra Leone not advanced the way it's supposed to advance. Mr. Sesay.
Well, you see, this is a century-old problem. The question is, are we making progress? That is the question. Women marginalization started from centuries back. Even in 1863 here, there was a legislation that was passed here in England, which the Cattle Disease Containment Act, they use it to quarantine women. You understand? They use that to quarantine women as well. We get STD. So then they let you see the level whose side it starts. But the progress where the Western world don't make by women, in other words, recognizing their rights, in other words, giving them the freedom. It is a global pandemic, but let us narrow it to Sierra Leone. And I would love to really just keep her within the confines of Sierra Leone.
And that's what we're doing.
The problem with women at Sierra Leone, first of all, the problem with women all over the world is always been us men. We feel so threatened because we think, we not think, it is a fact they are the inferior species. Women are the inferior species. Look at this past government. This past Anescoma government, we saw the highest amount of women in politics. Anescoma had 7 serving ministers when are women. When APC left power, there was a commission of inquiry. The commission of inquiry indicted 17, almost 36 ministers. They invite them. They indicted 17 ministers, only 1 woman. And the only woman where they among them is she's almost free because it just did it because of a vicarious duty. But there's nothing points to and say corrupt. So the corruption endemic on women, on men folk than women. So that's for don't signpost we say, for let Africa grow, for let we move from Musa we day, we have to borrow a leaf from Rwanda.
Absolutely.
Rwanda economy is stable today because 51% of the women, the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary are women. Now, in Sierra Leone, we have seen a whole lot of people that don't come and go. When we have an electoral commissioner, when a woman, Christiana Top, we get so much people around the world we admire that woman, they invite and they elect today for give lectures. We have an auditor general, when a woman, we don't prove a mark, say she is transparent, open. In other words, anytime you give a woman the opportunity for umpire, for referee, for adjudicate among men, they always come out proficiently.
Absolutely.
So to me, some of we men folks still stuck up with this competitive mindset. The day we'll give women the podium, we'll never reclaim that podium. Because we have an inherent fear in us. Other than that, what does it take to see that this, when you go to Sierra Leone, we have bank managers, the bank tellers, the front desk, everywhere there is position of trust, there are women. You come back to politics. I'm a very senior operative at the All People's Congress, and there was a time when I was a member of the CBOL Award Committee, and we took a resolution that we're going to award 30% of the symbol to women, of which we achieved. But the problem is, when the women here go out there, giving them the symbol is different. But when they go out there for go meet people there, first of all, especially in areas where society, they're very strong. Then go tell you, say, hey, Friday, we get so woman not for Canada, the tongue safe. We not for see no man not for the tongue. So you see the glass ceiling, either from the religious barrier, the cultural barrier, and even within ourselves, there's a glass ceiling where we need for break. And there's no tradition, no rigidity in that. Now we see the recent government. This government, yes, they try to make a regional balance. They prioritize regional balance over gender balance, of which we only have only two senior ministers, the Attorney General I respect that. Very senior ministry, the Foreign Affairs Ministry. But it is high time that we move from that level. Let me give you Gambia, for example. There is an ongoing commission of inquiry, and the vice president of Gambia, she was a woman. That woman, when he went on the commission, if they follow the commission, when they testify, they see the openness, the opaque, the clarity in your own exercise in duty for serving nation. So, to be honest, there is marginalization, but the problem is us, the men. You been they talk, Thonkla been they talk just no say, whenever we the campaign, I've been in the campaign trail with women, and I know how some of my colleagues perceived women on the campaign trail. They know they try for say, let us incorporate them in the next speaking agenda or let them move. The first rally what we get the youngest candidate, Mabinti Fona, she was 28 years old. They go into politics and get a symbol. I insisted that he get for open the rally in a stadium because for let the young one they see we can come into mainstream politics. So that's not the inherent problem. Now, the apathy, when at the main issue, the apathy among women is a very, very crucial issue because some women refuse for venture into mainstream politics because the stigma where politics gets, the stigma where mingle with men, a bunch of men gets now with society. The stigma for them woman wealth or cis, it claim pantap for half back, open van. They go and talk in a loudspeaker, they campaign. But that should be a thing of the past.
Okay, Mr. Sesay.
Let us,
Mr. Sesay,
because no, okay.
Hold right there because you don't raise so many issues there. I think say we need to discuss the issue that we don't raise. We need to bring the issue into play. You know, and this issue and the issue they bring can they go to the next question, go to Ms. Bonita. And Mr. Sesay clearly states about the way men they feel threatened by women then when they take public space. Because like me always say, if we put women in before the society, I tell you the society could be better. You educate women them, you picking them will be educated. Because it brings me back to this whole idea that women are the biggest educators on the planet. They're the ones who stay home with the children and then they instill on we. And let me come, I don't say a lot of issues, and I'm going to play the devil's advocate for men. I will talk on behalf of men in a way where it becomes very, very controversial. And I'm doing this because I want the discourse. I want to look at the issues. And I want to challenge the women for come out and not discuss this. Now, as a man, when they born me, why they grow up, not to be Papa tell me, say me a man. My father was not the first human being who said I was a man. It was a woman who told me I was a man. And my mama didn't tell me, say, me na boy because something I'm not for cry, like woman. Me na boy picking, I'm not for behave, like woman. My mama didn't tell me, say, me na man. My mama didn't tell me, say, not beat woman, not slap woman, not kick woman. My mama didn't tell me, say, respect woman. My mama didn't tell me, say, woman, I ain't there you. Yeah, man, I ain't there before. I want to be. Now, let me defend the men. If you're being from birth, being told by a woman that you lead, you are the leader, that you get the voice, that you get the decision maker, that you're the almighty. When I don't 40, 45, where I can't tell me, say, no, I'm not going to make a decision, no one can make it for me. Do you understand where the struggle comes from? Now, if we want to be fair in society, let us look at the root causes and the root problems. Now, if I'm put on this, I want to squarely say, in a controversial way, that I squarely blame women for men's behavior. I squarely blame those who are mothers who tell their sons that you're a man, now you for lead. You are the man, now you for take decision. You are the man for that name. When we put man before, when we put woman before, make woman make decision. Now we mama them, we sister them, and we can't tell you say you know some man back. Now you man for control, you man for talk. Why make you want to talk a public space? But then on the other hand, you hear the one and say, well, no, we forget the voice, and we forget what that. But if you know man, you empower you, you put on before you, then they say, that man not a better man, a weak man. I don't want any decision. I don't want any of this. So where do we stand, Miatta? Where do we as men stand? when you're teaching us to say the man 9 days before and the lead and get control. But then we want to take control. You say, no, we're patriarchal, we're controlling, we feel threatened, we're not arguing on our rights. Where do we stand? Where does this come from? And how do we effect that change? But make sure, say, from back, one of the men will begin to say, we're all equals, we get for Alana space. Who say we stand there? Me as a man, and I'm sure with most men who don't want to come on this platform, they say, they accuse women and say, now, Una are the root of the problem. Mr. Sesay accuse the man them. So the man are the root of the problem. Me, they say, Una do man them are the root of the problem. What you have to say to that, Miatta? And again, to the listeners and reviewers, them, Una come onto the platform, Una make my comments, and I'm saying I blame women for men's behavior.
Okay. To be honest, Mr. Fona, I also agree with what you just don't say. What you say, because the woman then can tell the man, then say, oh, now then the man, now then for Tima before. People that when me don't work with, from me man to me picking them. Once I meet him up, it's Miatta. Because one thing, I don't want to make somebody bully me. I get 2 boy picking them. I mean 3 because I adopt 1. Then I get 1 girl picking. But that don't make say me girl picking for be dominated by the boys then at the house. No, it's not possible. One thing I could always say, yes, mama, you get for tell you picking say, then get for respect the woman. Then get for do this for the woman. Because mostly I can say to me, boy picking, if una insult una sister, and me una don't insult. Because at the end of the day, me na una mama. But that don't mean say when they come on and do somebody want beat their sister, they not get for fix for her. And in this thing, what they talk about, the politics said the woman then be marginalized. One of the things where we don't see, it's not about like, I think it's gonna be Yamba or Mr. Kamara, where they talk, say, oh, woman then where them get position, it's like they're not able to hold them properly. That's not true. We get women that were then well educated, but they're not the give them the platform. You they be in a position. Somebody go can't tell you say, oh, you know it's in now for take this, then we'll go past the paper on the other side. When a woman then at that office, they tell you say no, you need to sign the paper. People go tell you say, oh, because that woman there, it learned so much, you know, one listen. So now most of the fear this way man then gets when woman learn, they're not go able to control them. But that's not the case of controlling the woman. When you know say you're not able to do something, if not that woman able to do them, allow her make you do them. It's no disrespect at all. If a man and a woman and they're together, sometimes the man they're weak. You know what I mean? Say where you weak, that's what you can do. No, there are certain things you can't do. So you get for allow the woman to take charge. You know what I mean? Say because the woman take charge, that means you are vegetable. Because mostly within the African community, then they would say this woman, this man here, you know, you do not just the woman. Yes, because now the woman get the power. You know what I mean? Say it's a disrespect to them. And not to say the woman they're not educated, now they know they be in the position. No, in fact, some of them are because they're so much educated that even the afraid for men and camp. Somebody they talk about 50-50. Me, I know what men be within the political arena. We say 50-50 for woman and man. Man, they don't rule for how many years? When I be 70 to like 92 to 8. I feel saying at the time that which make woman and take 70%. Of that, not even 50-50, because one thing is we get for duam now for make we allow them for take position, and we get for also try what thing when we they try for campaign, we also get for try for get certain position what they talk say this for be for a woman, no matter who that come now a woman for take. We all know where we then at the diaspora. Certain companies then they were we didn't even the local authorities. Certain position and they say this one now for this particular group of people. No matter who that apply, no matter your qualifications and stuff. That person they say 9 for Sudan that year, 9 for Sudan. So now one of the things in this what he said we also need to implement. We only can't say we don't learn something the diaspora, we want to go back. Why would no one for implement it? Not to everything get for work for, but certain things that what we know say it they work for, we need for take up. And me, somebody be ask me why not 2023? I say, listen, realistic of woman for be a president right now within the 2023 is a waste of resources and waste of everything. Because in order for be possible, whatever trash rate they made and deal with it now, 2028 is the best time for make we go able put ourselves together and come, and by then we don't try for change the constitution and work on certain things. Because for men, man, and just say it's man, it's mama salon. Let's allow the women Not about because now woman, they don't tell you say you na man, you for be in front. It's not always.
Okay,
No.
Miatta, it's better. Now holiday. You know,
Okay.
you don't say some few interesting things. You know, where you don't talk about say man them for allow woman them for do 70, 30. Because the man
Yes.
they don't do 70 boku, so now the one in turn. You know,
Yes.
that are your perception. You know, you
Yeah.
don't talk to women them about being in the job, they will do their job properly. Women
Yeah.
are almost to the point that you're suggesting that women are not corrupt. You know,
Yes.
women are not corrupt. But I get evidence, I have evidence based that to tell you women are equally as corrupt as men.
Okay.
You know, so again, the gender idea that we're women, we're better in doing things than men, you know, I think say that is one factor as well. That concern men in the relationship, they will not be listening to ask the advice because they think they know better than us. You know, so it's the perception and the view. Before even we get there, we're assuming that we're better than men. We're assuming we can do better than men. I think somebody said something very good. I wanted to comment on it. You know, because the relationship get to be complementary between men and women. It never for be competition. It never be actually a complementary relationship. Now, we're talking about corruption in high places. Women have proven to be equally, or if not, so even more corrupt, more dangerously corrupt than men. And that brings me point to this. Nigeria former oil minister stole over 30 billion unaccounted for. She's a woman. And now she's a case of international minister. In Angola, the daughter of former President Blaise Compaoré, one of the richest women in Africa. Again, across the globe, assets being seized everywhere. Why? For massive corruption, massive. In fact, Angola as well. That woman as the woman as a head, siphoned so much money from Angola, they can't even quantify how much she's stolen. So I want to put someone up on 2018. I think it's a fallacy, but I agree to one thing that women are less likely to be corrupt than men. Women tend to be afraid. Okay, a lot of women can so we cannot be bad at find them more. Or because what we're trying to say is women human nature. Human nature to make people corrupt. You know, but then I quite interesting one, and I think so they move to Mr. Thonkla with that. Mr. Thonkla, we talk about 50-50. We talk about women empowerment. We talk about how women are marginalized in society. You know, I bring something kind to this matter where you not do it. Sometimes you go do it. I say this matter, and I told that men are being taught by women to do the things that they do. As a man, my mama never tell me I slap woman. He always tell me I respect woman. He never tell me I beat woman. He never tell me I curse woman. He rebuked me. In fact, he tell me why they curse woman, that him at the curse directly. And that has imbibed in me, and it's my mantra. But my mama, my auntie, my sister, my granny, my cousin them, and then they tell me, say, me na man, and me for take control. Now me they in charge. That's a woman. These are women indoctrinating me, teaching me, empowering me to feel strong, to be the leader. And then they tell me, say, woman, the role is for support. So let us bring this into the context of politics. All these men have been told that you are the leader, that you take control, you are going to be back down. You see, are we wrong to do it? And I'm saying again, should we blame women rather than blame the men? We can talk that.
Yes, there is some noise at the background, so music they play in the background.
Please, let the blame me the next one down, please. Or put you
So music they play, it interrupt. Please, let us. Thank you. Mr. MacFoy, the issue about empowered women is very daunting. Because if we go back to the biblical story, even God will make we, a man first he make. A man first he make before he make the woman from rapes them. So that on its own, that a justification say we are always on the lead. But that doesn't mean we should be leading all the time. Right? If God says we make we, a man first he make Why not make woman first? And man first, he make before make woman. So if we use that justification, and also mama, they will tell me, you have to take the lead when you do sister them. You have to protect them. That is true. But if we are going to level the playing field, we need some structural adjustment. We do some structural adjustment, follow creates that atmosphere for make women get, remember this word, their fair share in society. The issue of balancing the quantum, as requested, is very difficult.
Someone turn off the music, please. Can everybody go on mute except Thonkla? Please, thank you.
Oh God, what's the music?
I think it's from the studio.
Okay, so the issue of trying to change the history from 82, from 82% men now to 82% women and 8% men, I feel say that on its own, it gets your repercussion because we are trying to create here a level playing field, a cohesion. One to one, we not have set up women and men for fight for positions. No. We work about waiting away on duty as a responsibility as man them, as politicians, or more will bring in measures. The music is so loud that I can barely say anything to make it happily override them.
The music is coming from the studio, bro.
Yes, but it's interrupting us. It's for override them.
Yeah.
Please to listen for.
So carry on, please.
So you understand the call where Bonita they called for, say we got to reverse the trend, the quantum, because for the past 59 years, men are there, which is she said 82%, then the balance 8% now for the man them. So for the woman them. That on its own it gets you a problem. But what people do as politicians, as citizens, as men, music is still people are afraid. Mr. MacFoy, I have to talk about the music.
Yes, sir. Hold on, we'll get small technical issue that music way. I will carry on, please.
Okay. Okay, so one area I feel say where we don't look at the women and role that the country, that as you rightly mentioned, that the banking system. Then they and we will see how that area the progress because of they are leading that area. It's very important. So that can be a testing field. Say if they are doing better in this area, we can also shift them in other area, more to balance that trend. You understand? The issue of the issue of giving out symbols during the campaign. If a woman is sensitive, they undermine the copy woman. Women don't get symbol. Woman is sensitive, they copy woman. They don't get symbol. So if we are fighting to elevate them, whilst they copy them, they fight or bring them down. I feel say we have a battle. We have a battle. I feel say both the women and the men will join together for a level that play. It's very important. As I always say, talk earlier, if we really want to empower women, we should be looking at trying to elevate them economically. It's very important. Right? You know, others in a salon, they say woman get your money in the house. Now man get your money. Also, in order to say they say woman get your money in the house, now the man get your money in the house. So that's what I told you. We need that structural adjustment, or let at least say the woman is equally get the financial power for helping us.
But hold on, Mr. Thonkla. Hold on, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Thonkla. Again, Mr. Thonkla, that's a very important thing to raise. And I think I'm going to lead to the next question to Mr. Sesay before I to Mr. Deen. That question, they say, woman then, not they get your point in a host. You see, again, then one factor. We know say the majority of people that provide your point in a host as alone, now woman them. The men are the minority who do that. But because of the way the society don't do, even the women themselves will not say, "Let me get your money." They will say, "I mean, man, they get your money," because
Exactly.
the women don't accept a subservient role in the society, you know. And again, that subservient role in the society, that the woman in mama, and they tell you, man, say, "When you gonna marry those? You get for they there, you man. You get for if you put your money self, and the man get for come before. If you do something self, and the man get for come before." Again, I look at this issue here. I actually talk about the issues, and I think for me, we never decided to this issue because when we actually get a realistic change, we just understand where the problem comes from. Legal position is simple. I am coming from the place that most of the things the women they do, in terms of the women they behave, in terms of the attitude of them, are actually being empowered by women to do that. Women are actually telling men to do these things. Women are actually tell men and say that if you lead. Women and they tell man say if you don't put your money, you know to man. Okay, it's not smart to talk about it. The women do it. So in as much as we need to give women the opportunity, we need to allow the women to come, you know, for come at the forefront. Women are told by women to be submissive. Yes, when your mama they prepare you for go, not your mama they can't prepare you for marry those. So now your mama then, now your auntie they can't prepare you and talk to you, tell you for behave. We're gonna marry those. Your papa will can't tell you say, your papa or your uncle will can't tell you say, but now for father, what your mama they do, you see what your mama they do, your mama they answer me, your mama they do this, your mama. So the example of a women's attitude and a women's behavior is based on what the mother does, and that's what the father will say. As so your mama they do, so for follow your mama in your way. As so your mama they do, for follow your mama. So I am saying again, for us to actually deal with this issue, we need to know how structurally with society don't implant the idea in us that men are the leaders, women are the supporters in the background, sometimes to a fault that it must not be seen or had. But if we take up in another context, and not from the 1900s, especially in the southern region of Sierra Leone, women have been rulers. They've been authority. They've been made the authorities. From Madame Yoko, I mean, I can give you names of women. You know, we have people like Anna Bonita Coca. We have Majufoni, 1860. We get people like John Bassi, 1800 and 1900s. We get people like Tienge Batenga from Gauta in the 1950s. We get Madame Yoko. We get Maga Lubu in the 1860s to the 1880s. These are paramount chiefs. These are women with power in our society. And I'm saying this. We need to understand what changed. What changed when women were powerful, women were chiefs, were warriors, women were decision makers, men follow the decisions of women. So in the context of Sierra Leone, we don't see women in the lead. In the context of an African context, we've seen women leaders, we've seen female pharaohs. Look at the Sudan, the Mali Empire, the Songa Empire. We've seen powerful and strong women within those empires. We've seen the structure within Africa. You know, that African women were strong, they were empowered, they were decision makers. As soon as colonization came into Africa, women became subservient, women became the background. The European history on Africa destroyed the power of the woman. Again, in the context into Sierra Leone, because prior to that, women were rulers. Women were, look at the Amazonia, you had women who were gods, women who were worshipped. You know, so now look at that context. In that context, Mr. Sesay, in that context, Mr. Deen, again, I come back to this idea where I think so we're all afraid for talk about. Why do men behave the way they behave? Is it because they've been taught and they've been told centuries that now then they lead, now then get the power, now therefore make a decision. But now with modernization, they're being told, no, you have to allow the man to make a decision then. So there's the conflict. So instead of we blame the woman them, or we blame the man them, say the man are the wicked and not allow the woman there, is it a case of where our mothers, our wives, our aunties, our sisters, get to begin tell the Pekin and say, you're a sister, we're not equal, we get equal rights. You know, from a context of an Islamic context, I know Islam gives women more power than men. It actually empowers women more than it empowers men. It puts women on a pedestal where not put man them. In terms of wealth sharing, in terms of inheritance, women have more rights to inheritance than men in an Islamic setting, because when the wealth is shared and women get the wealth, it belongs to them. Whatever is given to their brothers, the women have a share, and it is the brothers' duty to provide. So in so many contexts, there's an empowerment within that context. But again, what I want to say, is it because men were made to feel that they're the leaders, that make them feel now? Is it time for re-education? Is it time that we come across the platform and say, you know, waiting, as a society, that we change with cultural values, that we change with cultural norms, that we mama then begin to say and say, you are as good as your brother, you are as strong as your brother, you are as capable as your brother, you're as better as your brother, you can lead as much as your brother can lead. Is it the time that we reach for law begin down there? Why don't I start from the top? Do we start from the bottom, top, or top, bottom? Mr. Deen.
Thank you very much, viewers, MacFoy. This is a very diversified question. It's just too much. But I will narrow exactly to the try for talk. And I will draw reference to Miatta, the panelists, the new panelists. We talk about the 70%. I just want to say, I beg to differ. Miatta, I beg to differ. I believe, say, the issue of 70% is very much, to me, very much inappropriate at this juncture of a political discourse. And I feel, say, he woefully wrong at this time. I believe, say, we preach on equality, gender equality. Therefore, if you come, you bring in the issue of 70%, I want just debunk you there a bit, say, we see, I am a feminist, I believe in human equality, and I believe, say, if we fight for equality, maybe 50-50, or if you 51, you're not bad, but the issue of 70, it was too much. Now, make a count to the issue of waiting Mr. MacFoy to say. I've said this guy get to do a lot from waiting Mr. Sesay talk. It draw reference back to the biblical days, and Mr. Thonkla, Bangura do the same thing. They reference back to the days of Adam and Eve, when are the first modern create. But however, I won't believe, say, the concept of globalization don't play a very significant role in the perpetual change where it takes place today in the world. Would they see, say, I can reference back to America, where they claim today, say, then are the modern architect of democracy. Even in America, they've been get with it and called disenfranchisement. Women were not even voting. They were like housewives. But over the years, we see transition, we see change. It take place continuously. Today, women are voting in America. They get good jobs. They are all over. We don't see in Rwanda. We see a president in Liberia, a woman take over. So to me, the change that take place, although the pace is very slow. The pace is slow. So coming back to the issue of Sierra Leone, they talk about give chop money, no give chop money. As remember, Mr. MacFoy member bring chop money business. Man, I tell you this: women, they're very transparent. When you put in a place, they're very much accountable to anything that they do. However, I get corrupt one is small. Although the one they way very straightforward, they supersede the woman the way corrupt. But in the case of man, it's very difficult. You understand? Women are more transparent. This is the fact. Women, they're afraid, they get fear, then they shame. Woman, wait on the top position, now one boyfriend business against self. If you married now, man, no bet. But me and you now, they talk, we're already now. Where they under to God, you get past 6, 7. You know, now this are the corruption. In brother day, in sister day, in mama day, you will feel. They want to get us satisfied them. That is now they begin thief. You know, begin going to that office, they go take what you don't belong to you. You get us satisfied them. So woman, when you reach to that side, if they say they bamboo self, so then I one and now in a hide, where you see you want to get again, it will tell you say in status. So, and the issue of chop money, you get married to that chop money. Woman, if you man not get money, marry you, you don't suffer. Fellow, you know, when I care about you, what do they come on a month? So, then let's say they put that amount in the winter. You go put that guest like what woman no one take responsibility, saying I go look after man. So, God did they give word. Man, God give you that power day. And let woman get nothing, they look after them, you know, they grumble. They always say, "I'm duty I look after them." But when woman look after you 1 year, 2 years, then you don't die done. You go cost it before you body them. Not to cost when if you tell you. So that's how they will not agree. When woman, I don't say they will like you, but I have a fleck. So God and Abby, if you don't grab go work fellow, and lie they lie. But you go get that oh 30, 40 years, you know work the feed and clutter. So that's how they will disagree with you totally, Mr. MacFoy. I bet to differ, but that's how they mean as me own feeling this. So I don't see, I don't go kiss them, I don't go with them, but who cares why they go beg for man them? Now this called skin and Sierra woman, you know, get chop money 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. So God and I be the kick out. But yeah, they put you close to black bag. You know, MacFoy, you're out of the house. So to me, you know, MacFoy, you know what I'm talking about. This is true.
So, Mr. Deen, Deen,
yeah,
the question you understand so.
Yeah.
You say, well, woman provide chop money.
Yeah.
Well, woman provide chop money.
Yeah.
1 month, 2 months, 1 year. They begin to disrespect the man.
Hey, fellow, respect the
Oh, hold on. You know, they get no value for the man. Okay. But
yes.
woman, man, they provide for 30 years.
You don't care.
Yeah, so the idea, and a very, very thing you bring counsel, the idea that provision gives power, provision gives responsibility and empower.
Yeah.
And look at it this way, Ms. Bonita, this one he can to you. Now, two things by embassy. He talk about where woman have power, a heart for leg man, leg boyfriend. Yes, if you get boyfriend self, they hide. But man them, they get boku girlfriend with that power, not a big thing. And then that issue and why they raise with you, Bonita. And the other issue that raises about women supporting men. When the woman supports the man, the woman takes away the power from the man, and the woman becomes so emboldened that the respect and the dignity of the man feel is not given anymore. Again, Mr. Sesay says something that men are afraid. The fear women then get, could this be justified? That because they're afraid, say they know what women are capable of doing, and they know how women will take away the dignity women can get. I repeat, the dignity women can get, where women empower. Is that a reason why men in Sierra Leone are so reluctant to bring women to the forefront? That's one. Number two, the sexual impropriety by men in Sierra Leone is glorified. You know, it's talked about with pride. But the sexual impropriety of a woman in Sierra Leone is seen as a Satan, as wicked, as evil. Yes? And we tend to use that as people for bring women in condom. Whilst women they do them, we let them for go free. Miss Miatta, what are they trying to get at? One, that the fear of men, that if they allow women to take the space, then power and then dignity will not will go away. And if that fear is justified, and if it's justified from the man's perspective, if women and need to understand, say, that fear will justify, how do women bridge that gap and make sure, say, then the alley fears? Now, I'll just do one inference. I remember I'd done Jomo Kenyatta in 1963, I think, when Kenya, when he became prime minister and he took office in Kenya, and the white settlers were all troubled. You know, he called a meeting, town hall meeting with all the white settlers. You know, he began advised as a waiter and say, Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister, sorry, kick all the settlers out of Kenya. Let them go. Because we don't want them anymore. So the white settlers, the white man, they will be on castle. They may affect the Kenyans and they kill them because nobody give them power, because they're afraid that they give them power, what thing will happen to them? But what did Kenyatta did? Kenyatta called into a meeting, and I tell them, say, no, don't worry. Yeah, for as long as we play by the rules, nobody will be driven out. nobody will be touched, nobody will be killed. Something that Mandela did. Is it time for women, if I can say there's actual real fear amongst men, that if women became the breadwinners and they took power, that men will suffer? And how women they will need for allay the fears of men? Because for be dismissive is dangerous. Then two questions I want to put to you, Miatta.
Okay. Well, let's just answer the last one for now, right? Where they talk about if women then take power, then get for like treat the man then bad. That is not the case for the woman. The way me feel safe will be, because every woman is a mother. Because one thing you do when you get your house, like where I think now Mr. Kamara they talk say, oh, woman pay feed you for 1 year, they pack you things them. We don't see people that don't live in a year where they no get status, then they with the woman. Yes, things can happen. Woman they talk. Then you're not going to take them away from a woman. If woman do something for you, yes, again for remind you say I do this. But that not mean say because it do that day, the woman not capable for be in certain position. The thing with this woman marginalization as Sannoh, it's like people then they're afraid of what woman can do. It not always get for being negative. We they see example right now with the woman where we get or the mama where Sannoh forget because of an attitude. We see what side Sannoh they go to. When you get a woman where really need for support, the home or the country, would they see what side we they take and cry and go. It not mean say because people then get few case studies of issues where woman we they see the worst what man than they do. Maybe man and woman go make palaver. It gave me cry. It say go left me house. We're not to do woman get fault. In Africa they say yes because you they're married, so you gotta leave. Why? Because now the man get the house. Now the man didn't have the house. So sometimes people they not for talk say because woman go there in that position, then go treat the man then wrong. That is not the case at all. When man and they in that position, we literally they see what thing they happen. For example, when we don't tell we about this hands off our girls, we would see people that way they don't go do bad to picking them. But because of the position of the man, the way they do it, they still in that position. Then the case die. I feel safe now. Woman be there in them position. I swear to God, you not go allow in picking the suffer that kind of suffer day. Even it no matter if now a man do that day, if I go answer justice. What woman they do, it might be so blunt to things to the truth. It get for tell you say yes, you don't do this, you get for suffer the consequences. Man then get for pain way for begin the cover. You know they happen under the watch of a woman. And some of the things then this way they make we BNTJ. When they make a law, if I make everybody follow the law, it don't matter who that you be, where the law catch up with you, you get for pay, you get for suffer the consequences. People they not get for talk say because woman come in, get for can't treat them bad, so now I make everybody for suffer. No.
Okay.
When
Okay.
man they're waiting at the worst way they happen right now.
Ms. Bessa, because of time constraint, you don't do that one issue. Let's do the next issue. Then at the count of viewers' comments, and then we get guests there online where they wait for Giwi questions. We'll go bring them come on live pretty soon. But what I want to do, Ms. Miatta, in like 60 seconds or 2 minutes, please answer before the previous question. What asked about women being shamed sexually for sexual promiscuity, whilst men are not being shamed in Sierra Leone.
Well, to be honest, we all just see like them go for man them, it's a norm. It's okay for them, right? Because then go tell you say that in a boy, it's okay. But if now woman, it's a bad thing. So nothing and the way we know say it not get for happen. But all of this, just like I'm saying now, the Chief Thonkla when we talk about like man and they get so many women then at the side and stuff. Under the woman in watch, and if he said something like that to happen. It not get for happen at all.
So you're saying women are incapable of cheating?
So to be honest, me now woman, I not go deny say people they know they do one, then go do one. But it not get for be as worst as waiting their man than they do to people.
You know,
because as I say,
a man will say a perception. Man will say a perception and a woman's perception. Man will say because woman not get that platform date. When they get the platform and get that kind of freedom day, it could be equally as worse. Now taking context, the Western context, we see in the Western world, promiscuity is not just by men, it's across the board. women are as promiscuous as men. When in a free society, when things are allowed. So again, it's how the East come up from that the notion is us versus them. So maybe we need to begin to think more rather than us versus them. We're all in this together. How do we work as a collective, you know, for make this change? Because if the women are constantly accusing the men that, oh, now because man they are prone to this, and if you look at studies in societies where advanced, where women are allowed to be free without check, they're equally as bad, they're equally as promiscuous as men. You know, if you look at society, they really shame women for having multiple partners. Women do as they wish, as they please, and nobody actually fights them in most societies. And they actually call it freedom. It's actually called a woman's right. I can do what I want to do with my body. It's my body, my choice. We hear the mantra constantly. And men are saying as well, you know, not their body, not their choice. If they feel forget 50 women, they're their own business. Almost want to forget. Likewise, when you have the freedom, you do the same thing. When I we for Tona, almost man you for keep. You know, so I think that the arguments that women are more better than men, you know, I think brings the problem because it creates a defensive mode and a defensive mechanism that, oh, okay, I'm obviously seen as a bad guy. What about if we come from a point of view that we're both capable of doing these things, we're equally as bad as each other, but we need to work at a consensus to progress forward that will bring the rights of each of us, each gender, to parity. You know, I mean, I go, before Little join people online, let's go to some of the comments. We don't get really, really interesting comments from our viewers. And I will go for like the very first comment we come. Just give me a second. Let's go to that comment there. You know, someone called Shokoyoko say women are being marginalized, but I believe that it's down to sexist culture that I said in your last episode in an endemic in Sierra Leone. Men do create the rules, and the only way most women believe they can excel is by using their bodies. That are in context of which we talk to women, they use their body for sexuality and this and that. So what this person say, it's simply say, listen, it's not because of the structures that women don't create, I make women sometimes have no choice but to use their body. It's a double victim. You know, the system victimizes them, and then we as people victimize them as well. Men victimize women. And again, I tend to agree that yes, that the structural issues, that the way we don't structure society. I get a comment from Zainab Bangura, we say politics is a brutal thing. Frontline politics is brutal. So now they make them stop women and for come, you know, at the forefront of politics. You know, I get Sarah Fofana always say, in terms of marginalization, I think men know our worth and do recognize our significance, but they manipulate the cultural barriers to keep women working actively, but in the background. These barriers stop women from raising their voices over men, even in the issues that directly affect them. Women in Israel are actively involved in politics and issues of development, but they're not heard because they do so in the background, usually in the shadows. So what this other person is saying, women actually participate, but because of the society and the norms, the barriers we don't create, the voice of the woman is actually in the back. And it goes to what I try to say, where we're told that women should be at the back in a supporting role, rather at the front. You know, there's so many comments, you know, so many comments in this arena where it's both sides. People are saying, you know, to difficult issues for discourse, a broad issue, a cultural issue. You know, there's so many comments in this. Mr. Little, can you bring on the guest, please?
I know they see Ahmed Sesay. Is Ahmed Sesay here online?
Mr. Mohamed Usman. Mr. Mohamed Usman. Okay, we're not get Mr. Mohamed Usman. I want get Miss Aisata Cole. Miss Aisata Cole, what contribution to this program? Good afternoon. Where did you come from? Miss Aisata Cole. Okay, I'm able to get Miss Aisata Cole and Mr. Mohamed Usman Toure. So I can ask Mr. Kolkadri. Mr. Kolkadri, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
We're good, sir. What is your contribution to this program?
You know, I don't listen on how they talk just now. And, you know, there's a perception, and let's just give you 2 quick points here, right? First of all, woman, one of the first things we can make clear and find that difficult, and this is something I've heard in the workplace before. When you hire a young woman, the first thing a manager they think about, okay, is the fact say there's going to be a point where it go once forgets picking a child. So the first thing that goes into the guy's heads is that I'm hiring somebody who I could lose for a few months. So if she's going up in competition let's say in an interview, yeah, with another guy, that is one issue that crops up most of the time. Okay, and I say this as somebody who hires people, who listens to other managers speak. It always comes into play. The second thing, especially in Africa, culture. We have a lot of cultures, tribal cultures, where not beliefs say a woman's place is above a man. Absolutely. So if you're in the workplace, a promotion comes up, they'll rather give it to the man than the woman. So I think if we want to change this, especially in Africa, the first step we need to take is change the mindset of our people. We have to, because the guys will be adamant about that. And women are always going to find it difficult to progress in an African setting. It's a fact.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kadri. Again, an interesting one. Hello? Now, interesting point, Mr. Kadri don't bring answer. They don't talk about societal issues. They don't talk about from a planning point of view, from a CEO, a manager, a senior person within organizations. They don't come from that perspective. They tell you, say, one of the reasons why women are marginalized in those societies is because of the issue of having to have a child, having to go away, and that break in continuity, that break in the business performance, that break in political performance, that break in the ministerial performance, that they have to go home, somebody else going to come in. So when they make decisions, they actually look at, okay, so a man provides more continuity than a woman, because sometimes a woman going to go away. You know, whether it is valid or invalid, it's another question. You know, the other thing we don't talk about is a societal thing, that culture they stop with. So if culture they stop with, you know, it comes to the point of what we talk about, then we need to legislate. We need to come from a point of view where we actually change the constitution, maybe in the sense where it provides that in any political party, goes across the board. It doesn't have to be an act of parliament, because an act of parliament can come and change by another government will come, create a new act. But if we put it into the constitution, say, every political party with the award symbol, now we 132 constituencies, I think, in Sierra Leone, if I'm not mistaken, 132, that half of those, 50%, must be given to women in terms of positive discrimination, in terms of actually increasing the representation of women within politics. You know, would that be something that will help? Would that change the dynamics within society? Would that change for women then? And again, I see there's a lot of comments online, you know, where somebody, Ms. Zainab Sherry Bangura say, we didn't miss the point. He said, for a lot of something in any environment, we get for empower ourselves, we get for make sure we get the right qualification, and we get for make sure we get the right skills for that position. But what I can say to that, because of the kind of society, the way we don't set up as man them, you know, the kind of way we don't educate woman them, it becomes very, very difficult for the woman to get the same experience as men. And if they get that experience, where does it come from? You know, and we'll look at that. Again, I think so, I get Mr. Mohamed Ejalo, and somebody again as well. Mr. Mohamed Ejalo, if you can unmute and give contribution to this program, please.
Hello, good evening, everybody. This is Mohamed Ali Jallo. One man last match. I call from UK.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
London,
Gallo.
Southeast London, yeah.
Okay, what are you contributing to this program, sir?
Well, I just see the program online, then I'm just coming, so I try to listen. I believe I not read the flyer and the topic what it about. But I believe say that's something where they deal with current issue and salon. I believe say with time I'm able to follow what's in the topic, and I just come into the program right now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jallo, for your contribution. Again, let's go to Miss. Again, we will wrap up in the next 15 minutes. So let's keep this quick and let's keep this short. Miss Miatta, you get 2 minutes. So Miss Miatta, as part of this discussion, even online, yes, and we don't get few callers or don't come, we don't talk, we don't talk. We don't accept, say, there is marginalization of women in politics. But the reasons there will marginalization that exists, I think I don't get varying views. We don't see the wealth of views across the platform, across even with comments section. We don't see the wealth of views. How do we change the narrative? What do we need for do as a society for change the narrative, for actually get women to feel the confidence and for feel the confidence for coming to politics and participate not just at the background, but in the front line, but not just politics, in every walks of life in Sierra Leone. And let's contextualize this to Sierra Leone as we topic.
Okay, well, first of all, just like we mentioned, nothing where we get for try to forget in our constitution, because if it did it, that means every political party will go literally abide to that. Because sometimes, if just like we say, if something not in the constitution, when anybody can go just one for changing, or then overrule them, amend them and stuff. So one thing where me if we say as a Sierra Leonean, we also get for try for talk to religious leaders them. Because also this thing also they fall into the religion side and also the tradition. Because people then go talk say again, as when they say, oh man, they go talk say, oh now only woman they know for take certain position because then a woman they no. Because we all they go school, we can see certain religions that where they can decide say that they remove them beginning in school because then for go marry. That's the end of it. No, that's not the whole purpose of a woman. Woman get for go beyond that. Not to just for sit down cook. Because we don't see them to say we own place, not just not the kitchen. No. Some of we that go school, we don't learn, we don't educate, and we they see things and say they're wrong. And not only the young one and get for able to come and make that correction, because we don't see say the old people them is like a norm, okay, Lord just be a norm, no, we just continue for the rest of the time. No, it should not work.
Okay.
And one of the things where we they try to work on also, it's like when they make them, even when people then vote, if somebody not able, would I they replace them for be a woman? For me, I feel say the gender imbalance within the political arena we need for really work on them. Because at the end of the day, if that not happen now, it not going to happen again. And we they see say that they disrespect women, them always when women stand and will begin to do certain things, it's wrong. Quick, like you say, okay, man up for crying, a woman they cry because we get emotions. Then I make woman then we quick for cry. But you they see the truth, somebody they lie, then you they not say that's a lie, then the person just to continue. Sometimes it puts you into tears. And I feel say if we they allow women then for get a position in that country, they believe me, we will see a very great positive change for we country. Because me, the word Mama Salon, I want for make we have a mother. A real mother for our country, because it's just been like how to say, Mr. Fano, this don't be so difficult. Some of we don't grow up within the Sierra Leone community and see what thing they happen to women there. I feel say now time don't reach for make we get a change, honestly we need that change now.
Thank you, Miss Miatta. Mr. Thonkla, you don't agree with Miss Miatta say. He said time don't reach for change. Time don't reach for get that change. We'll bring more women into the political fray, into the wider society as a whole, into participation. Not just bring them into participation, but we don't say women they participate in our society. The market people, the business people, they're mainly women there. We don't say they participate. But we can't possibly talk at the decision-making level, where the change makers, where they make decisions, where they will affect society as a whole. You know, what's your own solution to that, Mr. Thonkla? What do you feel we need for that society?
Yes, thank you, Mr. MacFoy. I say one thing way for take into consideration about this fight, now the gravity of this fight. our mock we will draw correlation between the gender imbalance in Sierra Leone and the fight for racial equality. The white man don't lead all the time ahead of the black man. That's why the white man is nervous, because they know say we are very powerful people. We are very powerful people. If we get a same level playing field, or lie, they go see difference. So that very fear we then get, that the same fear woman then get. I'm going to look at that picture. Then get a fear say when the race is equal, no problem, because we are very intelligent. Then we also as men, because remember, let's make an example. Last year, the president of Nigeria, Yuma made comments. Sorry. The president of Nigeria, Buhari, Yuma made comments about government. So they asked a press release, a press meeting. They say, what is your view about human statement? I say, our place is in the kitchen. Could you imagine? This is the president of Nigeria. They say, our place is in the kitchen. That's like, if was set him out, men don't talk. You understand? Nigeria is the biggest, the heaviest populated country in Africa. So if a leader of Nigeria, they talk down the woman, so what do you expect? What do you expect? And a leader, not a lot of power, now current leader of Nigeria, but human. He says she's best in the kitchen. Could you imagine? So Salon, like what did that man talk? We need a structural change. We need to change something. We need to take difficult decision. If Paul Kagame can change the perspective of man and woman, and now Rwanda, they succeed. I think say we're going to do the same changes in Sierra Leone. But it takes time. It takes leadership for take that difficult decisions for change that fear balance. We need a strong leader for change the narrative. Say, come on, this time around, I will take difficult decisions for change that mindset. Say, women, they are also better leaders. But in need patience, it need a collective effort, that it need time. Because you also get people who are called agents, whether they're against change, whether they fight against change. So if you get a bad tool, then you also get a bad tool for promote women, no problem, no patience, effort, and a collective effort for come together for fight up. And go back, USA come out. If we want for empower women, for bigger policies, scholarship in a school, we get them access to finance for take loan when na minimum interest, for get them a platform where organizing like cultural, like the mocks. Now mocks, you know go see woman take a lead. Because you know possible. You know I see woman as a imam there before you. You know I see a woman as a imam there before you. You can find ways and they pray. In the poly prayers. In the poly prayers. Woman as a imam, that's alone. You see woman, it's up in the prayer you. Instead of pray, now you might watch. It look at shape every day. So that's why Islam, woman pray we. And the second reason, they get at the time of the month where they never pray. So if you say woman pray we, or lie, you demand them, instead of looking at the Qibla, that might way you go look. And that go poly prayers. So these are all the changes, these are the barriers in our society, right? So we don't in the lead for past 50, 90 years. All of a sudden, we can make a shift change. It creates a confrontation. So what it mean the talk say, we need to put in policies. Even if we get a law where say women will get 70%, let's say you got to implement that. Right? We have laws in Sierra Leone where if we implement, we protect women, but they are sleeping. So what you need a leader where they need to act in that capacity for change that narrative. We need to create policy where women, if one picking, if we get nursery, for take a picking, for bring a policy where we call women for interview, for give them jobs. We need to train people, we need to educate, for get the media, for educate people about the role of women in society. Because if we need a change, it will be a holistic, not just one area.
Thank you,
across the coast, right? So if I reach so far, we get for empowerment, not only political, but economically. For strengthening them, and position them in a very powerful position for target balance.
Thank you, Mr. Thonkla. Mr. Yamba, before I come to you, let's go to Mr. Kadri. Mr. Kadri, you know everything Mr. Thonkla don't say, and you do on this platform. Mr. Kadri, you know, we all agree say women are being marginalized in our society. We all look at various different areas the way the marginalization takes place. But I think say we're here with the consensus that the laws, the culture, and the way we're engaged in society don't create them barriers in there. How do we break down these barriers? What do we have to do for not break down the barriers here?
All right. In the United States, well, we had a law there, affirmative action, right? What's the affirmative action mean they do? It mean they impose on employers that they had to have a certain percentage of minorities and women we didn't get for hire. Meetings say, now the same thing we get for doing our cellular culture. Let's look at the workforce now. We get a lot of women where they work now, we work for. So I can go there in government building them, and I see a lot of women there, but then all they occupy the lower rung positions, right? Not the senior management jobs. You'll see a few, but only a handful. Now, what I think we should do, let's put a percentage on it. If they're gonna be permanent secretaries, for examples, okay? We should have at least 45% of them should be women. That should be a law.
Okay.
And then they will be forced to do it. Then let's leave the government sector. Let's go to the private sector. The same thing should be applied, because when you look at all these big companies with private sector then, so man then, and then they lead them. Go Africell, go all them companies, then they man then they lead them. Let's get a certain percentage where they impose on them and say they have to be women. And at the same time, let we begin teaching our schools them. We're picking the way that they grow up. Let them understand, say, their sister them, equally capable as they are. If you can do something, your sister can do it. Well, you know, let's face it. I mean, as a guy who grew up with two sisters, one of my sisters there, the top lawyer in a salon right now, right? I know the capabilities of women. And it's just because of this cultural thing. We get people that where they grow up, where they believe, say, women are subhumans. They're not as equal to men as they should be. And their place is indeed the kitchen, which is wrong. And then again, I can blame some of the women then, because sometimes maybe now the environment where they grow, they not get that self-confidence in them for stand up and say, listen, I'm capable of doing this and you should hire me for this position. Maybe if our women in our society got together, like the suffragists did, sometimes things will change. But we don't have that in Sierra Leone. And I think say it's time African women start doing that, standing up for themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kadri. Mr. Deen, you know what Mr. Kadri say? Mr. Kadri say, in prefer say, let we create a law, we will give women at least 45% of the job. He mentioned like permanent secretaries, and we know the permanent secretaries alone, majority up to 80 or 90%. These are senior government positions are held by men. You know, it mentioned private companies alone. Majority of the jobs are held by men. There's one company I know as alone, we get women at the top. When Orange Sierra Leone Limited, you know, and get women in a very senior position. That's the exception rather than the norm. So should that become the norm, wherein wherever you walk in, you're not expecting to see a man or a woman. You're expecting to see either a man or woman, not just a man, not just a man, not just a man, just the power. What do you think say we need for doing a salon, Mr. Deen, for let we change that narrative there? What do you think say we need?
As I posed earlier on, I feel say the discourse is very, very much broadened, so much broader. This is a very massive, huge topic. But however, they say the first step to 1,000 miles is the end of the journey. So I believe say like a big tax, but we will able to amend the rules. This now an ideal way systematically get a hold on deprived societies in which Sierra Leone not an exemption. I I want echo within Claude say. I believe what they talk say, if they make laws where will encompass women then into like areas like permanent sectors, when are permanent good areas, respectable side in the country, yes, it makes sense. And other the public sectors also will make sense. But to me, this like a cultural clash now. There is a clash already. Because with society, we come out, it's very, very, very much patriarchal, very patriarchal. We're now a male-dominant society. We get cultural societies like the Porobush. You know, they encourage women for goodness. So talk them, then inside them, they go talk them. This, you don't alienate the woman. This is not overt segregation. You not go now the Porobush with me for go talk. No, you never go there. This, they deter them from take part. And you look at what happen at the society. We for encourage them and they are not to put them behind bars. If anything, women are possible for dialogue, come to a consensus agreement. This is a great fear to the few. We want to play a pivotal role into the politics of Sierra Leone. Say, hey, if me, I begin to talk this, or they will go lock me back. So all this back, they play part. Women are people that quick them fear. They need to be encouraged. They need to be pampered. Now, like when you get human, see, you know, be brutal to her. Women are possible, you know, brutal to her. When you pamper them, they get the best out of her. If they advise them, very intelligent, but you be very nice to woman, I swear to God, you get the best of them. Now, the best sex compared to the two genders. But they don't need anybody who is brutal towards them. They hate it. Or you become so disrespectful to a woman. Women don't like it. Women then believe, say, sit me down, let us talk. Make we get to the junction, then we'll iron out things. Then believe in dialoguing. So all this back, they play a role where they discourage them for partake in the politics of Sierra Leone. So to me, I feel say the empowerment of women for start from the educational level. Make sure say any girl child gets basic education. When you get education, you go able to stand out for yourself, for able to defend yourself. Say this is too much. I am being bullied here, and this is not democratic. We should follow the principles that govern us as a democratic state. So therefore, education is a pivotal role. Also, economic strength is very significant in the fight for combat gender inequality. When you empower women, like the one the way don't left school, we get picking it today. If you go to the beach, along the beach, then they stand there. Make her open, so they call you. If you not able you to go, sister, you go. Why you not go help them picking there? Make institutions them, private sector areas them, teach them for do something we go better their lives, rather than they allow the girl child for go to beach the end, man go get money, and you don't know the sick way they go get, and that's they go begin rotate. This now a problem for the states in the health sector. The health sector already is shambolic. We not get a structural system where they will cater for everybody from the cradle. That from the cradle to the grave. We need a system where they look for Yamba, na Yonibana, when no get money, when go for medical, you get them free. You know it. So therefore, I feel say the women, to me, they need to be encouraged, not to push on for begin harass.
Okay, so Yamba, your solution to the problem is women need to be encouraged.
Yes.
Women need to be actively brought to the fray. Men need to provide a platform for women for actually express themselves and for women for get their fullest potential.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I want to say thank you to all reviewers. I want to say thank you to the one that we go online with, they participate in the comments. I think they've been very, very positive. It's a wide-ranging topic. So we panelists that we involved, to Madam Miatta, we hope say enjoying some of the program, and we hope say we'll come back and get more involved. So other female them we want to get involved. You know, we want at least one panelist amongst our women, at least one. If the whole panelist can be taken over by women, that would be a fantastic day for Diaspora Voices. If all the panelists then come out and the women take control, you know, that would be a very, very great day. And I hope say go happen pretty soon. The platform is open with the people that will run this platform and the people who involve this platform. They're open-minded. Their thoughts and their thinking is empowering to women. Where we were raised by women, by our mothers. We have sisters, we have daughters, we have women around us. Some of us are married, some of us are not married, you know, or all of us are married. You know, we have women amongst us, you know, and we actually want to promote women in our society in Sierra Leone. And that's the reason why we could bring this topic. And next week, we get a topic about women in business in Sierra Leone. You know, how does the economy encourage women? How does the economy encourage women's success and women's empowerment and women's prosperity? What are women in value within the economy? The topic I don't get next week. And we don't get one panelist already when I miss Yamba when it come on next week. Again, that's it to this topic before we close this topic. That's it to this topic. We don't get the general view. You know, we don't listen to Mr. Kwakajo, we don't listen to Miss Miatta, Bonita, or Sweet Bonita. You know, we don't listen to Mr. Thonkla, we don't listen to Mr. Sheikh Kamara, we don't listen to Mr. Jallo, you know. Mr. Deen enter and say Sweet Bonita, you smile, and Bonita they smile. Yeah? Her name is Sweet.
Not the name, not to me, not the name.
That is a brand name, and that's the name she's going by.
Exactly. I like the name. I like the name.
The name is actually Sweet Bonita. So if you want to check this woman working on this program today, if you check on Facebook, you can find the name as Sweet Bonita.
Oh, Sweet Bonita.
Sweet Bonita, yes.
Okay.
So what I say Sweet Bonita, that's her actual name. You know. So again, I want to say this, and from the discourse we don't get, you know, there are issues what we need for discourse as a people. There are issues what we need for discourse as a country. I think this debate needs to be honest. It needs to be soul searching. We don't need to go hide on this debate. I think from the man's perspective, I can say I speak for most Sri Lankan men. And it's not to defend or condone their action, but it's to say one thing. And one thing, you know, if it's to say one thing and one thing only, yes, that we were raised by women and our thinking is fashioned by women. At later stage in life, our thinking gets fashioned by our fathers. But at an early developmental stage, it's our mothers. So we don't know what we need to do. We don't identify, say we need to do policy change. We need to do constitutional change. We need to do societal change. We need to go down to the religion and actually take away the ignorance of the understanding of the religion. Because I think with a lot of the interpretation that men have and a patriarchal society get are just the interpretation. And we know, say, even in Christendom and in Islam, look at Christendom, the gospels of women were taken away by men, and women were made to feel less in Christendom. Either they call you a harlot, a prostitute. Women's role in Christendom are actually put to the back burner. In Islam, there's women, you know, we're empowered. Some women are taken out of the fray. But again, it's how we interpret those religious beliefs and those religious edicts, and that education we in the society. In terms of policy, then constitutionally.
Mr. MacFoy, might help you 1 minute.
Hold on. We understand that. Just wrap up because I don't get to meet the say we time not run out. You know, in terms of we all agree, say we need a positive change. We need more women at the space for our society actually prosper, for our society actually develop. You know, the legislative differences, the legislative change, you know, the cultural change at the boardroom, the government, we need that, you know. So I want to say to me, for the first time today at this program, not only they end the program, would they end the program with the last word they come out from Miss Miatta, Sweet Bonita. Miss Miatta, I want to summarize for we, what you think and what you feel, and you appeal to a nation and to people and to your fellow women them into owning the political space. I want to say thank you very much from Diaspora Voices, from Mr. Thonkla, Mr. Abdul, Mr. DJ Little, you know, Mr. Ibrahim Sori, and we former panelists, Mr. Ahmed Conte, Mr. Sports and owner present today. I want to say thank you very much for making the possibility. But Miss Bonita, you get the last word.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Fana. The only thing between I go on for continue for say thank you to all my fellow panelists and you yourself we host we digitally too, because to be honest, I feel say I can get a fight with Una, but I was so pleased because I feel say everybody doing your own research come on board. So I really grateful, and also for like the comments that way we get from Afisa, a mother, which is Madam Zainab Sharif Bangura, will also be the make a comment online. Because one thing that they said, like, well, not be safe for low run a salon, we all don't see what's in the happen. on the salon and are so grateful. Like people then they come on board because sometimes people then get the ideas, but then just they wait for that one voice or that one person for team up. I everywhere Chief Thonkla they talk about the 50-50 group. I think, to be honest, no disrespect to them, but I think they've become dormant. They haven't like, for me, I don't think even they do exist because I think they've gone. So for you for bringing them up, say and see this, so it's something that I need to find out what's going on, what's happening, because we they see the woman they wouldn't dip literally disrespect or molest na salon, which it's so unacceptable. And I also they appeal to all my fellow young woman then out there. We not get for left the man and say, "Madam, just do what you get for do." We get for come on board. As I feel say be clothes where we come and talk about if somebody get for born or like we they go ask for job and stuff. Some of we don't they in a managerial position. We see sometimes how the interview can go. But again, when you did it as a woman, you get for able to shape and say, listen, and not mean say because the person they plan for born, it just to go do and then some of we what we born picking like 3 months we go back to work. We work from home. I feel say when it comes to woman, if you really love the job, no side will say it still continue for work. So I don't know if you said that for be an issue at all, but again, sometimes people then can look at them in that way, which it's sometimes really, really bad. And I'm gonna be so grateful if everybody, every woman and man as Salome we come on board. And also with religious leaders, them if we meet them, try to educate them because sometimes again it's lack of education because waiting somebody don't make a mind on, that's just where they stay. They don't want to go beyond, they don't want to go left, right, they just want to focus like going straight, even if it's the wrong way, bang their head, butt their head, dump it somewhere, they don't care. So I think sometimes we also need to continue to educate them. Like Chief Thonkla, you mentioned about the Muslim, how women for lead prayer, you get for be tormented, the stuff by the button stuff. I feel sometimes we get to look beyond that. It's not just about the pretty or the beauty of a woman. There's something also good in a woman, not just their appearance. Because me, somebody make a comment to me about an issue right now where they go salon because I don't really want to talk on them here. They're like, it's because of how the person look. And I feel sometimes you don't trick people about their looks or about the way they present themselves. It's wrong. So I feel we'll get for also try to educate we religious leaders them for respect. We look beyond the beauty, the ugly, but there's something good inside of we. So Diaspora Voices, I would like to say thank you to all our viewers and my fellow panelists. That's what I will say for tonight. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye.